The Greentown Public Library presents Cookies and Canvas with Kim.
Hi everyone, Kim here. Today we're going to paint for our Cookies and Canvas this beautiful butterfly picture. Now there's no paint in your bag, so you can choose any color you'd like. You do have a paint pen, which is what we're using for this, so it is much easier. Now, some of you are saying,
I don't know how to paint.
This is easy, no worries. If you don't like it, you can give it to someone like your mom or your child. You can give it to somebody that you really don't like, and then it becomes their problem. You can paint over it, or you can throw it in the trash. The option is yours. So let's get started. I have a painted background of ivory. I used shades of purple on this one. I just kind of came around with a swoop. You can make your swoop however you'd like. Afterwards, we'll put the butterflies on. So for this one today, I'm going to use a gray background. I went ahead and painted the gray background so it could dry. So you'll want to choose a background color and then some colors for where the purple would be. You can pick whatever color you'd like. So you can see in this one, you see my brush strokes. So this side I will probably put the blue color on. And remember, when you're painting, every time you put your brush down and swipe is where you're going to see a brush stroke. So if you can start at the end and go all the way across, that is better and it shows less brush strokes. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to decide where I want my little swoop, and I'm going to start with a darker color, and I'm just going to paint the dark color here and then come around however you want your swoop to be. And I'm going to go ahead and cover this whole thing with my darker color. And on this section, it's okay if you have brush strokes because it's more of a patchwork kind of thing. So it doesn't matter if you have light sections, dark sections, it's all good. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and give it maybe a couple swoops. So, but you can swoop as much as you want. There's no right or wrong to this, so you also don't have to show anybody the original picture, so nobody has anything to compare it to. I do suggest that you have paper towel handy. We're not going to clean our brush. You can have water out if you'd like, but we're not going to clean our brush in between because we are using different hues of whatever color you're using. And again, remember, I'm a mixer of my paints, so I mix colors together. I don't always know what colors I've used. I have found that a Folk Art brand of paint is a lot thicker and covers easier than one of the cheaper brands like Ceramic Coat or even Apple Barrel, which is still a good paint. The Folk Art seems to cover a lot better. It seems to be a lot thicker. Okay, so now I have my blue, and I'm going to go ahead and add some different hues to my plate. And I just have my paints on a plate. Just a styrofoam paper plate, anything like that will work. I'm going to go ahead and get some blues. I do have a few metallics. That's an option. This gives a little bit of glitter and shine, which I love. You don't need a whole lot of each color, then you're just going to do little swatches, so you can always come back and add more. Sometimes it's hard to put stuff back in than it is to get more back out. This time I'm going to use a silver paint pen. That is going to make a little bit of a difference. I finished my background color, so I want to just wipe it out. I'm not cleaning it out, I just want to wipe it out. Taking my ring finger, laying it on the paper towel, and kind of squeezing out the paint. You can wipe off your hand, because I tend to get it everywhere. Feel free to wipe that off. Now we're just going to use our brush, same brush we used, no difference in that. And we're just going to make swatches. And you just I just put them anywhere I feel like I need more. Remember, you can always go back and paint over this. So don't worry if you have too much in one spot or not enough in one spot, you can always go back and add. So, and I just kind of go around adding different colors, different shades. You can always mix paint together to get lighter colors, add some white. If you are mixing colors, it's best to start with the lightest color and then add your darker color. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to get the color you want. It's going to take you so much paint to get the color you want. So start with your lighter color. So if you're mixing with a white, go ahead and put some white down first, then add whatever color you're using. And it's okay if you go over the swoopy line. It's not going to hurt anything. You're also going to have butterflies there, so and if you don't like the butterflies, you can always choose a different style. You can make lines or designs or anything like that. So let's see. Let's add some darker blue. And again, if you feel like you get too much in your brush, you can always wipe it off. And put more dark colors in. And you're just going to keep going until you fill the space however you like. This is very forgiving, so you can keep adding, and you can turn it landscape or portrait, whatever direction you would like. Start with some white, try to get a little bit lighter color. Let's see, let's just pick that color. You want to make sure that you get your color mixed up really well before you put it on your canvas, and then also make sure that you clean out your brush. Otherwise you're going to end up with some big white streaks or blue streaks or whatever color you're using. So now I have a little bit lighter of a color. See, I've got quite a mixture of things going on. And then you can add light colors to this. And if you find a section that you don't like, just paint over it. It's easy to do. And I do like to come in and just kind of paint over my swoopy line. So and just kind of keep going until you're satisfied with what you're looking at. This painting doesn't take as long as some of the others we've done, so if you've been painting with me before, this is pretty easy compared to, let's say, that chicken. I did not appreciate the chicken. So if you are new to painting with me, welcome. I appreciate you taking the time to pick up a grab-and-go bag and get started on something. Keep in mind that we do paint once a month, typically the third Tuesday of every month from 6 to 8. Hopefully in August we'll be back to painting here, but I believe that we are going to still have our bags available. So if you would like to pick up a bag, you're always welcome to do that. So I know it's hard for some people to get away and get to class, so we want to make it as easy for you as possible. So tell your friends. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to let that dry. You can use a hairdryer. You can also use a heat gun. They get a little hotter than a hairdryer, so be careful and not to get too close. So if you want to speed up that process, you can do that. In the meantime, in your instructions in your bag, you should have some patterns for butterflies, all different ones. I'm sorry you can't really see those. These are better. So you can do a couple of different things. You can cut these out, take the time to cut these out, That for me is a little monotonous. Now you don't have to, unless you want to, you don't have to have any details. You can see on my purple one that it's all gold. I don't have any kind of detail on the butterfly. So it's up to you if you want to do that. That's perfectly fine. You can also tell that I have mine kind of going up the swoopy line, but not covering the whole thing. So if you have an edge that you don't like once you get your butterflies on there, always feel free to go back and paint over that. I also have this little dragonfly, but I also have some in the painted part as well and coming up and going off. I like this one and how the wing goes off so it looks like it continues up. You can do the same on the other side. If you don't want to sit and cut those out, which I don't blame you, you can do my transfer method. If you have not done that with me before, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, let's say I want this particular butterfly. I'll just cut around him. Then I'll place him down on the table. Face first. So right side down on the table. Then I'm going to take just a regular pencil. Any kind of pencil will work. And I'm going to just scribble over the back of it, making sure I get good coverage where the butterfly is. Okay, you can always hold it up to the light and make sure that you got every area you need. And make sure you get some good coverage. This is just exactly the same as transfer paper would be. Graphite paper, you're using the graphite on the back of the picture instead of an actual sheet of graphite tracing paper. So this is what it looks like when you're finished on the back side. Here's the front side. So then all we need to do, and I'm still waiting on mine to dry, but I'll show you this technique. All we need to do is place the butterfly where we want it. Then we're going to take our pencil and trace over the butterfly. You don't have to press too hard. Just enough to get a design. Now, the antenna, you can do if you want to. Some of mine, actually, I didn't do any of mine on here because my paint pen was so thick. But once I take this away, you can see there's my butterfly. I've traced it on there without having to cut every little detail out. So, for this purpose, I'm going to use a silver paint pen. I believe some of you have silver, some of you have gold. And go ahead and shake it up. Make sure some of them will have a little ball inside so you can hear it, and some of them don't. So this is going to go ahead and mark without pushing it down. Some of them, if they don't have paint at the very tip, when you open it, just push it straight up and down until the paint comes out. Hey everyone, I'm back. My canvas is dry and I started putting on my butterflies, so you can see that. You can also see that I have scribbled on the back so that I can trace. Also, if you don't like the direction that it's going and you want it to go a different direction, you can also scribble on the front of it if you like, and that way you can trace it that direction. So I have started, I do have a couple more that I haven't finished yet. If you're using this metallic marker instead of a paint pen, it has a little bit of a finer tip, so you can get the antennas on there, so that makes it kind of nice. So I just start by outlining my butterfly with my pen. And again, you don't have to use the metallic marker, you can use something different. If you have regular markers at home, you can use those. You should have either a gold or a silver in your bag though. So I just fill that in. And I like to have them just a little bit everywhere, so you can add more, you can do fewer if you like. I do have one more down here that I need to do, but other than that, you're all set. Don't forget to sign your name, and you are good to go. Thanks so much for joining me, and hope you have a great day. Stay safe.